Times front page for Wednesday, May 18th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman locked up the Democratic nomination in the Keystone State's U.S. Senate race. Seth McLaughlin and Susan Freaky report Fetterman defeated Pittsburgh area Congressman Connor Lamb and North Philadelphia State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta, winning 59% of the vote. Fetterman overcame a stroke in the final days of the campaign to secure the nomination. We're still waiting to see who will emerge to face Fetterman from the competitive GOP Senate primary race. Former television host Mehmet and former hedge fund manager David McCormick are separated by 0.2%, 31.3 to 31.1. Conservative commentator Kathy Barnett is in third place with 24.8% of the vote. Pennsylvania's automatic recount threshold is 0.5%. In the Pennsylvania race for governor, State Senator Doug Mastriano secured the Republican nomination over former Congressman Lou Barletta and former U.S. Attorney Bill McSwain. He'll face State Attorney General Josh Shapiro, who was unopposed in the Democratic primary. The key southern Ukrainian port city of Mariupol has fallen to Russian forces, according to Western intelligence assessments. Guy Taylor reports under a deal negotiated between Russia and Ukraine, nearly 300 Ukrainian fighters, some of them seriously wounded, left the ruins of the Azovstal steel mill and turned themselves over to the Russian side. Ukraine said the garrison had completed its mission and that there was no way to rescue its members militarily in a city that was otherwise entirely in Russian hands. The development signaled the beginning of the end of a nearly 3-month siege that turned Mariupol into a worldwide symbol of defiance and suffering. Ukraine says the Russian military's bombardment of the city killed more than 20,000 civilians. Russia also conducted lethal airstrikes on a maternity hospital and a theater where civilians had taken shelter during the siege. Russian forces have been seeking full control of the port as a strategy for a land bridge across southern Ukraine. At the opening of a criminal trial testing special counsel John Durham's Russia investigation, prosecutors argued that Clinton campaign attorney Michael Sussman used and manipulated the FBI before the 2016 presidential election. Jeff Murdoch reports prosecutors said Sussman intended to deceive FBI officials in September 2016 in a scheme to sabotage Donald Trump's campaign. Sussman is charged with lying to federal agents in the first trial of Durham's probe of the origins of the FBI's Trump-Russia collusion investigation. FBI agent Scott Hellman, who oversees a team of cybersecurity investigators, told jurors that he looked into Sussman's claims and concluded they strained credibility. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Also a reminder to find our entire roster of podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Abbott Nutrition could face criminal charges after claims that one of its formula plants sickened infants. Susan Freaky reports Pelosi raised the specter of an indictment for Abbott from the conditions at the Michigan plant. Abbott contests the claims that the plant was the source of a rare bacterial strain that sickened 4 infants and may have caused the deaths of 2 of them. The Food and Drug Administration shut down the plant, but this week it was given authorization to reopen pending FDA approval. Democrats are also considering legislation that would give the federal government more control over the supply and distribution of formula, particularly when shortages arise. The plan would require formula companies to report inventory to the FDA, which could then move supplies from one state to another to fill empty shelves. And finally, romance scams are increasing as summer approaches, according to officials who have struggled to stop them. Sean Salai reports the Better Business Bureau's online scam tracker showed that 395 romance scams had been reported in the U.S. from the beginning of the year to May 17th. That was more than the 276 reports the Bureau received all of last year, itself a 13% increase from 2020. In the scams, fraudsters get access to a target's personal information and use it to drain their finances. The shift to more online dating during the pandemic has made the problem worse, and those new to the online dating scene are particularly vulnerable. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us on any major podcast platform. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.